Hello traders, we've got another week, so let's look into more challenges. So let's look at the first one, and this one is done on GBE brokers, and honestly, just looking at the balance curve, I can already guess that it's been done using some form of EA, very likely, and because this is a very high number of trades, I think that's right, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. And you know, EAs are fine. If it works, it just works. Now regarding the trading objectives, they were finished very nicely. The profit target is achieved even above the level that was required, and the losses are managed really well. You know, I actually really like when the trader is really near his max daily loss, because it means that he is really taking care of his account and the losses. If it was the max loss, well, that wouldn't be so happy. Now I want to talk a little bit about his balance curve. As you can see, this trader struggled from the beginning, but in the end he successfully managed to struggle his way out, so that's really good. You know, I always say when the trader struggles from the beginning, and even so he is able to successfully manage the challenge, that's just outstanding. So I will be really looking forward to seeing this guy in his verification phase. His trades are all done on S&P 500. The symbol for GBE is US 500, right? And the losses and even profits are distributed very nicely here. But you know, what do I know? Because like he had almost 400 trades. He mostly sold instead of bought, and you know, that's fine because we are after all entering the bearish market. So what can you do, right? You have heard probably of buying the dip, now you will have to short the spike. And yeah, pretty much his favorite symbol is exactly S&P 500, and that's all the, or almost all of the profits that he made. It was exactly on S&P 500. Then he made some losses on gold and euro and Australian dollar. Alright, so let's look at another one. So this one is done on FTMO platform. And the beginning is pretty similar here actually to the previous one. You can see that the balance curve dips quite a lot. And you know, there is a loss of minus 17,000. So that's a lot. Now you might be wondering, how is this even possible? So I have actually filtered out these trades, and you can see that this might happen when you just hedge your positions. So you can see that this short positions was in positive and this one was in negative. And of course, if you close this one and leave this one running, you can just see that the balance curve dips, but you will not really violate the trading objectives, because essentially your equity is still at the same level. He still made some profits here and there in the other days, so I really want to see his progress in verification. So the symbols that he traded on are mostly indices. This one is DAX, then UK 100, and a little bit of gold, perhaps? I don't even know. Now, since I already said that we pretty much are entering bearish market, we can see that this one made most of his profits on the shorts and lost money on his buys. So yeah, this is it for this one. Let's look at the verification. So with this one, there is really nothing that unusual here. You can see that the balance curve just overall goes up, and there were really some nice trades near the end of the challenge. So he made 49 trades. His risk reward ratio isn't that great, but his win ratio is alright, so it compensates that. And now just looking at his daily summary, you can see that he made some nice profits during the entire duration of the challenge. This trader is a day trader, but he is actually paying some swaps here and there, and he is trading just one symbol, and that is Euro and Great British Pound. And he's trading pretty much with the same volume all the time. Now scrolling down, he is actually buying instead of selling, and yeah, pretty much he just traded this one instrument. So you know, if you are trading on just one instrument on one market, that's absolutely fine. It's probably better to have just one instead of having like 20. And this is of course because you can see the patterns that occur on the daily basis, and you can just orient much better. Now I already said that he mostly traded with 3 or 2 lots, so the volume is overall pretty similar. Alright, so now that we got this verification covered, let's look at the last one. And this one is very nicely finished. This one is traded on Cresco FX, and right away you can see that the balance curve is great, and so is the profit target. He actually made 11,000 more than he was supposed to, so that is really great. He came a little bit close to his max daily loss, but he can just manage the losses without any problem. He traded with volume 171 lots, which is not too much and not too little, and he executed 172 trades. His win ratio is pretty alright, and his risk-reward ratio is even better, so when he traded, he made big profits and really stopped his losses early. Now looking at his daily summary, he had some spikes here and there. We would probably prefer if it was divided evenly across 10 days, but that's not always possible, right? But even so, those spikes are pretty nicely and evenly divided across some days. So for example, here, and the first day. Now looking at his trading journal, you can see just profits in here, which is great, but you can see that it was just shorts on the same instrument with really similar open time and really similar close time. So that means essentially that this guy made just one huge trade, but it was divided into separate positions. But these positions were collected over 15 minutes, so this guy probably thought that it's gonna be a good trade, so why not? And yeah, you can see here that he mostly shorted, and his favorite volume was 1 lot, and he traded just these 5 instruments pretty much, which is Euro and Japanese yen, Euro and Great British Pound, Euro and US dollar, and something else. Alright, so this is it for this week. Currently it's really wild because the markets are in panic mode and everyone is just trying to sell, so we'll see where it goes. So as always, leave any feedback down in the comments, and see you traders in the next video. Trade safe.